It was 3 days to the next episode of The Oprah Winfrey Show. She had announced that she would be hosting Viola Davis, a remarkable and popular movie actress. The Oprah Winfrey Show was one of the most watched television shows of the century, and having a popular movie actress on the show would seriously boost its ratings. The whole of Chicago buzzed with excitement as the day drew near. Oprah was up to her neck at work, ensuring everything went smoothly. Her job was to deliver a stellar show, and she was ready to do just that. Oprah Winfrey never gives anything other than her best. Unfortunately, she didn't see what was coming. Little did she expect anyone to interrupt her show midway. Sadly, it happened, but her reaction left everyone speechless. Meanwhile, a meeting was held in a small coffee shop on Western Avenue. "Is everything ready? Because we can't afford to make a mistake this time," said one man. "Yeah, everything is ready," another replied. "The tickets for the show?" the first man asked. "Here they are, Francis," a blonde woman in glasses responded. "But should we really be doing this, though? I mean, are you sure it's going to help?" she asked. "I know that what we are doing now seems a bit unconventional, but I'm sure it will work," said the guy named Francis. "It's not for us, Chloe, but for the ones we are fighting to protect." "I don't know, guys. This seems a bit wrong to me. What if we get caught?" she asked again. "Listen, Chloe, if you want to back out, no one will hold it against you, okay?" Francis said with an understanding look. Chloe hesitated, then she looked at Francis with determination. "No, I'm not backing out. Let's do this." The group consisted of about 10 to 12 people. No one, apart from themselves, knew what they were planning. "But isn't there another way?" another man asked. "Mike, we have already tried the other way, and it didn't work. That is why we have decided to take this route." "Listen, dude, you in or you out?" Francis asked. Mike took a deep breath and said, "I'm in." "But why her? Oprah Winfrey is a really powerful woman, and things could get ugly," Simon asked. "If we play our cards right, it won't have to come to that, and besides, what if this works and we get what we want?" Francis asked. A murmur went through the group. "We have to be brave guys to achieve what we have set out to achieve. Our next stop is the Oprah Winfrey Show." It was a few minutes left before Oprah Winfrey went live. The makeup artists were putting on the final touches, and the media team carried out the last-minute checks. Her production manager, Gary, was up and about, ensuring everything was in place. Oprah felt a rush of anticipation. Running this show was one of the best things that had happened to her. She loved her job. She took her place at the desk and prepared for the countdown. "We go live in 3, 2, 1. The theme song was played to introduce the show. Oprah felt a rush of adrenaline as she faced the camera and the audience. Harpo Studio, which could seat a maximum of 200 people, was packed, and millions were watching her live stream. Oprah knew she always had to bring her best. It was difficult, and she always encountered harsh criticism on her show. When talking about sensitive issues and bringing to light the bias that society has always tried to ignore, criticisms are always inevitable. However, rather than discouraging her, they just made her more involved in the cause she fought for. Another challenge she faced was that she was a woman, not just a woman, but a woman of color. This caused her to encounter a lot of haters, especially in a society where men dominated. However, with hard work and perseverance, she had made it to where she was today. Now, she was the only black woman who was also a billionaire in America. Surprisingly, that was not how she started. She wasn't born a millionaire. Oprah grew up in a poor family, and her mother worked any job to put food on the table. So the person with whom she spent most of her time was her grandmother. Her grandmother encouraged her to follow her dreams no matter what they cost, and that was advice she never forgot. Right from when she was a little girl, everyone knew she was gifted with words. This gift paved the way for her to go to college, so she put all her effort into ensuring she made it in life. Her success was a tribute to all the hardships she had experienced. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Oprah Winfrey Show. I am your host tonight, Oprah Winfrey. Tonight, we will discuss the challenges black women face in the entertainment industry and what it takes to succeed despite the odds. Tonight, I have with me one of the greatest female stars of our time and a sensational movie star, Viola Davis. A round of applause came from the audience as Viola approached the stage with a confident smile. Oprah and Viola began digging deep to expose the movie industry, what it was like for Viola to be a woman of color, and her journey in making a path for herself and other women who would come after her. Many opinions were expressed, and the viewers' rating was a solid 76%. This was one aspect of her job that Oprah really liked. She saw herself as a truth seeker, whose job was to find out the truth, and deliver it to the public, and have them make the right decisions themselves. She saw herself as someone with a voice to the voiceless, and presented all the facts to make the right deductions. They were in the middle of their discussion when a group in the audience stood up with placards. They began to shout, "Fur industry is animal cruelty," and had their placards had slogans like, "Fur is not fabric," and "I would rather go naked than wear fur." At first, Oprah tried to ignore them and continue the show, but they kept chanting. Security tried to chase them out, but they would not budge. The show was live, and about 2 million people were watching it. Viola appeared confused and a bit annoyed. These people are interrupting the show to complain about fur? She thought, annoyed. Not world peace or against discrimination, but fur, she thought again, and for some strange reason, she wanted to laugh. It seemed so absurd. The protesters had left their seats and were now standing in the aisles, raising their placards and voices and chanting in unison against the destruction of animals for fur. Meanwhile, Oprah Winfrey was shocked. Never in her life would she have imagined that she would have to address anti-fur protesters. Sure, she was a powerful orator, but not many people went about practicing what to say to anti-fur protesters. She looked at their faces and saw determination. Her mind spun on what to do. On one hand, Viola Davis would feel insulted if Oprah abandoned the show to attend to these protesters. On the other hand, she looked at these people and knew they were not planning to leave anytime soon. What to do? What to do? She mused. Oprah looked straight at the camera and said, "All right, folks. It seems there is a commotion over here at Harpo's studio, so we are going to go on a quick break to discover what the fuss is about and get back to you." With a smile, she signaled that the camera be turned off for a few minutes. As soon as they were no longer on air, the hall broke into a hush of whispers as Oprah stood up. It wasn't a hidden fact that Oprah was gifted with words. It did matter how good you were. Oprah knew what to say to make you think about your life choices. "Oh no, now those people are going to get it," someone whispered. However, what she did next left everyone speechless. She ordered security to lead the people protesting up to the podium. Then she smiled at them. "Hello everyone. I can see we are in a bit of a situation. I only have a few minutes before we go back live, but I would like you to share your problem with me, and maybe I can help." The whole hall looked at her in disbelief. Seriously? She is not going to press charges? The stunt these people pulled could cost her money and make her lose viewers, they wondered. Even Viola looked impressed. The people staging the protest approached the stage with a look of uncertainty on their faces. They did not really believe that Oprah would listen to them. They believed that she would call security to chase them out. However, it was better to try. As soon as they got to the stage, Oprah, ever polite, greeted. "Now, what seems to be the problem?" she asked. "Well, ma'am, we are here to make a plea for our cause," one of them said. "Seems like we did not have a choice on whether we wanted to listen to it or not," Viola snapped. "It's not like we didn't try the right channels," a woman with blonde hair and glasses said in their defense. "We have been trying to be on your show for months, but we haven't gotten a positive response from you. That's why we decided to take this step," said a middle-aged man with dark hair. Oprah made a mental note to ask her manager why she had not been informed about this. "It seems I also have some part to play in this catastrophe by denying you an interview. So here's what we will do. Next week, Tuesday, we can have that interview. What do you say?" The middle-aged man, whose name was Francis, blinked for a beat. Then he took Oprah's hand, which was stretched out for a handshake, and shook it. He smiled with a look of disbelief. "Thank you, ma'am," he said excitedly. "However," Oprah began, "you guys were unruly and caused chaos during my show, so I am going to have to ask you to leave. But do not forget our interview by next Tuesday, okay?" "Yeah, okay," Francis said with hope in his voice. "We will be there, thank you so much." "We apologize for all the ruckus we caused," said the blonde with glasses, and an embarrassed look. "That's okay," said Oprah. "However, know this, you should not force your opinion on others. You can drop facts and opinions for the people to conclude and then make decisions. Do you understand what I am saying?" "Yes, ma'am," they replied in a subdued tone. "All right then, see you next week." With that, she motioned for security to lead them out of the building. As they walked out, the audience began clapping for Oprah. Not only had she handled the matter quietly, but she had done it so everyone was satisfied with the outcome. Such a wonderful woman, with the way she thinks, and her ability to come up with solutions on the spot, Viola thought, as she looked at Oprah with respect. After a few minutes, the stage light came on and they went live. Her discussion with Viola Davis continued, and by the end of the show, many people were calling to comment and share their experiences in the entertainment industry. All in all, the show was a success. And that's it for tonight, folks. Next week, Tuesday, our guests will be talking about the use of fur and how it affects us as people and our environment. This is the Oprah Winfrey Show, and from Chicago we say, good night. The ending theme song played, and the production manager signaled that they were no longer live. All in a night's work, Oprah thought. From meeting with a very influential actor to having her show disrupted by anti-fur protesters, she decided to retire for the night. She rounded up her work and then said goodnight to her crew. Then she got into her car and went home. Oprah was an influential woman, making everything she did interesting to people. They always wondered what she ate, where she slept, and the people she was involved with, so it was hard for her to get private moments such as this. She drove to her duplex in Water Tower Place. One of the reasons she chose this apartment was because right from the moment she stepped in, it had felt like home. The colors of the walls and the decorations gave her a sense of comfort. She went to her fridge, took a bottle of wine, and poured it into a glass. Then she stared out the window, at the city of Chicago. The streets down below were alive with streetlights that glowed like fireflies. Something told her to be prepared because the following day would be long. She quickly finished her wine, showered, and went to bed. The next day, Oprah was on the news. The story of the incident during her show last night was everywhere. Comments and other talk shows were talking about it. I bet those people were paid to do that so she could act all high and mighty. She is such a show-off. A lot of rich people are all talk and no show. I'm pretty sure she lied about there being a show for them next week. But the cause they said they are fighting for is stupid. Why would anyone want to ban fur? Oprah should sue them for disrupting her show, the comments continued. Other people, who did not like her and her competitions in the world of show business, also used this as an opportunity to talk trash about her on their shows. Oprah's manager called her. "It seems many people are agitated about what happened on Friday," he began. "I know," she said calmly. Gary had known Oprah for a while now, and unlike many other women, she was a cool-headed person. She was not emotionally driven like others. That was one of the reasons he loved working with her. Another reason was that he respected how her mind worked. She could always produce results, even amid crisis, no matter how tricky the situation seemed, so he hoped that she would know what to do in this situation. He was impressed with how she had handled the situation with the protesters on Friday. He trusted her judgment. She would know what to do. "So, what are we going to do?" he asked hopefully. "Nothing," Oprah replied. "Nothing," he thought. "I'm sorry, but I think I just heard you say nothing," he said in disbelief. "You heard right. Nothing. Let them talk, Gary. We are the ones doing the right thing, so we have nothing to fear." "Besides," she said with a sly grin, "many people are not even aware that there is a problem with us wanting to use fur to make clothes. This will help spread awareness so that by the time we go live on Tuesday, we will have a lot of ears listening to our show." In a happy tone, she said, "Just let our haters do free publicity work for us, Gary." With that, she walked out to the office in laughter. Gary had no choice but to also laugh. Only Oprah would think like that as far as he knew. He chuckled, and then went back to work. The day of her interview with the protesters came, and they were at the studio. They were still in awe that she gave them a chance to share their concerns with the world, but grateful nevertheless for the opportunity. The studio was packed, and security was extra cautious about who they let in. Soon, the stage was set, and it was time to go live. Everyone took their places, and the opening theme song was played. Then, Oprah began the show. "Hello viewers from all around the world, it's your host Oprah Winfrey here. Tonight, we will discuss the adverse effect of being so dependent on fur and considering it a fashionable piece of clothing. Now I have here a group of people with me who say that we need to start finding alternatives to this and stop hurting our animals. I have Francis Peterson and Chloe Barbados in the studio tonight." The show began in full. They spoke about why they did what they did and why they were so against fur being used for vain purposes, such as clothing. "There are people called fur harvesters whose job is to get animals with fur, groom them, and then have them annihilated just for their fur," said Francis. "What do we use this fur to do? Play dress-up even though we have other alternatives of better quality and superior to fur. Why do we have to hurt animals just to look good?" said Chloe. "We are here to defend those poor animals that do not have what it takes to defend themselves. We must be more conscious of our environment and the creatures we share it with. We don't have to harm animals to look good. We have other sources of clothing material that are not made from animals." Animal cruelty is not necessary for us to be able to obtain clothing material. With the rate we harvest the fur from those animals, we might soon reach a point where those animals could probably go extinct. Oprah could see some members of the audience nodding in agreement. Other points were raised on how to fight against the unjust harming of animals for their fur, and points were made about banning the use of fur in the fashion industry. Well, thank you Francis and Chloe for making us more aware. That will be all for tonight, folks. This is the Oprah Winfrey Show, and from Chicago we say goodnight. The ending theme song was played, and the show ended. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Miss Oprah. I can't tell you how much it means for you to allow us on your show. Thank you so much, ma'am. Don't thank me just yet, Oprah said with a smile. Let us hope our message reaches the right places and evokes the changes we seek. They exchanged goodbyes and then went their respective ways. One of the people who watched the show was Viola Davis. As Viola saw Oprah so involved in the show, taking her time to extract information and not to embarrass them in retaliation for what they did, she felt awed and humbled. If it had been her, she would have found a way to make them pay for disrupting her show. However, trust Oprah Winfrey to be able to make everybody a winner. The protesters got the screen time they had hoped for, and Oprah rode on the waves of chaos to gather publicity for her show. Now that is the kind of mind that separates a billionaire from a millionaire, she said proudly. The comments regarding Oprah Winfrey began to change the next couple of days. People were impressed by how she handled the situation. She's so brilliant, said Eduardo Esguerra on the Wendy Williams show. And that is what makes her a wonderful entrepreneur. Her ability to bring out the good from a bad situation, like turning lemons into lemonade. The press began to sing her praises. Oprah Winfrey does it again, dazzling America with her brilliant mind. Even her haters were impressed. Such wisdom, they thought with envy. When finally interviewed about the issue, she shrugged and said, I did not do it for fame or applause. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. But I know what it's like to want to be heard even when the odds are against you. And that was what I saw when I looked at those people that night. People that would do anything to succeed, no matter the odds. What those people wanted to say may not have been important to you, but that does not mean it was unimportant. Somebody needed to hear it, and my job is to provide a wide coverage area so somebody does. It is all a matter of perspective. A small-minded person will see a nuisance, but someone who sees the bigger picture will see an opportunity to do good and help others. What are your thoughts on how Oprah Winfrey handled the unexpected situation? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.